And it is on the dot 8 o'clock, well, at 8 p.m. for me in South Africa. Welcome to the House of Shadows and Ink and my monthly check in with creators. So if you do have any questions, pop it in the chat. Otherwise, I'm just going to cover a few basic topics first. Just a few things that have been on my mind this week that I know a lot of authors are asking about as well. A lot of my conversations with authors, so whenever we talk about issues they're going through, my mind just races on it for a few days. And we'll get into the whole I'm a problem solver kind of person in a bit, but that's what I do. And then we see how we can help and how we can fix things. So, the first thing I want to cover is the most important thing that you can do with your time here on earth, other than, like family and kids and all that stuff, is learning new skills, your skill set. Um, for the gamers out there, these games where you have to gather a whole bunch of things and you become better and stronger and smarter, and all that stuff. It's the same in real life. That's why education is so important. You not only learn what you want to do with your life, but you're gaining a set of skills that are going to get you, well, keep you alive for the first maybe 25 years at least. And what else do you learn through that time? Because what you learn during that time shapes the rest of your life. And it shouldn't be that limiting. You can keep learning new things. So spend some of your time learning new things, not just, yes, reading, watching movies, being entertained, having friends. That's all great. But you have to learn new skills, especially at the rate that the world is changing at the moment. There's so many new things to learn, and you don't want to be overwhelmed, of course. But you do need to look at your career. What are you busy with? What is your plan in the next 5 years? Where are you headed? What skills are you going to need then? Because you can't just say, okay, I need to learn this in the next week or two. I know people who do that, but you want to be prepared. You want to sit back a bit, look at things from objectively from a distance, and then see, okay, this is something I need to learn. So learn new skills, try to master one. Our main focus is, of course, your writing or whatever creative outlet you have. But that's just the one thing. Um, that's not enough these days. If you are an author, you need to do something else with it. So it used to be that writing a great book was enough, not always, but enough. Now there's too many great books, too many authors, too much competition. Facebook ads and Facebook groups don't work as well as they used to. So it's even more difficult to stand out now. There's more opportunities, but so many people are grabbing those opportunities that you need to stand out. So finding your reader is now one of the biggest challenges. I mean, it's writing a book is a hell of a challenge, but even that is now like you can write the book, you can finish the book. Now what? It doesn't solve that nightmare. And a lot of authors or a lot of teachers, people will help you with craft. We do that as well, but these days the biggest obstacle for every, not just author, any creator, is how to get noticed. So that is where your self story and brand comes in, which we'll cover in a bit. Just checking my notes. Hi Anita, thanks for being here. um, let's see. Okay, so me, for instance, um, I looked at the skills that I have in my life and how I can apply them to the crystalic publishing, to authors' careers, to writing, all of that stuff. Look at the skills that you have in your day job, other skills you have in your life, and think of, is there a way I can apply this to my writing career? Not the craft itself, branding, promoting, being online, a newsletter, in person events. Um, I, for instance, like I said, I'm a problem solver. So, and that has made me who I am. It's part of my journey, it's part of my self story. Everything that I've done up to this point has made me this person. The books you read, the movies you watch, the people you spend time with. Remember, remember when your parents said, "Be careful who your friends are." That thing, like, it's not just a year or two and then they rub off on you. It's like the people you spend most of your time with, the things you do with your time, it becomes you. So if you can creatively choose what you're going to do with your time, who you're going to spend it with, it's going to rub off on you. Spend time with other creative people, um, whatever your field might be, comedians, actors, whatever. Um, I teach, educate. Some authors entertain. They talk about books. They talk about, they become an expert in their genre or subgenre or the history of, let's say, they write vampire fiction. Educate people in that historical fiction. Maybe you're a World War II author, so you also teach people about all of these things, all of these stories. Maybe interviewed some people who went through the war, stuff like that. Um, because then you reach your target audience, you entertain them, you give them something for free, and there's the upsell of, I wrote a book about this, so I know what I'm talking about. And as you can see, and I applied it into a book. I was talking to a guy yesterday who does a lot of workshops. He educates, he trains people in like factories and stuff, and he's never even thought of putting it in a book. That once he's done with his, whether it's a motivational speech or a training course workshop, there's a book. He can apply the skills that he has into a even better career, a more sustained one, and one that's going to help him when tough times come. Because sometimes things go up, things go down, you lose your job, um, the economy sucks, whatever in the world is going on makes people try and save their money. They can't do workshops, but they can buy, let's say, an ebook for $3.99. So your brand will grow out of all of this stuff. Um, what you do online, what you do in person, the way what people think when they hear your name, what do they associate it with? It's the way you present yourself, but it is also, um, yes, the way that you write, what kind of books you write. Um, if you think of Stephen King, you're going to think of all the nice memories you have of his work, but also the person himself. What pops up when they think of you? And a lot of that is, especially in my case, where I'm not in America, so I'm not at every convention, I don't meet every one person. The things that I do online makes a big difference. What I can do in an author's career, opportunities we give people. So, how do you entertain beyond the page, outside of the book that you wrote? What do you do for readers and other authors and people outside of that? So, and that is where this whole self story comes in. Um, so, for instance, Crystal Lake Publishing is a very successful company. I'm extremely happy with where it is, but I'm still teaching. I'm still uh, doing workshops and the mastermind. There's a workshop now in November. We do these things to raise money, but also to build our brand, to meet new people, open up doors. Um, it's good for the company's image. It's good for my intrinsic, um, what's the word? It just makes me happy because it's who I am. I used to be a teacher. I'll always be a teacher. So, and I've said this before, a great way to learn something is to teach it. So read it, put it in your own words, apply it by teaching it, and hopefully remember it. So we learn all these new skills and these workshops, and it's going to be useful in the long run. Here at the office, everyone is doing workshops. We've got a Udemy, like a year subscription. We look at skills that we believe we're going to need within the next 2 to 5 years. We look at the way the industry is changing, what's happening, where can we save money, for instance, what can we do, like interior design ourselves. None of us, we're not artists, so we still, hire artists, editors. We can proofread quite well. I still write nonfiction books. We apply our skills in being prepared, so to say. Okay, back to learning and the self story. Um, all the people that you spend your time with in your genre, subgenre, your field, um, they've been on their own journey, their own self story. And when you finally meet up, magic can happen. I mean, if you look at the movies, how many people work on one movie and they all bring something from their own lives into this project, and amazing things can come out of it. I don't care how bad the movie is in the end, those people are probably still going to see it as this magical moment in life where they all came together and created something out of past experiences, out of nothing. They all brought a little bit of themselves into that. So that's why I'll always have respect for creators. I don't care how bad the book was, or the movie was, or the artwork, whatever. It's a part of that person's life, and it might not resonate with you. It might not um, be for that time. In 5 years, you might look back at something and realize now you need that. Now that project makes sense to you. Now it connects with you. And I know, especially with art, like some people can cry when they see a certain piece of art, and others just don't get it. Um, Maybe just not yet. So, um, so that's why I want people to um, look at the people around you and look for opportunities to get together, throw some ideas around. You don't have to work together, but you can strategize together. Maybe you do work on something together. You co-author a book, or just a novella, a short story, whatever. Do something different. Um, let's say spice up your career. Um, just try something different. Learn from that person. Let them learn from you. See where it takes you. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? I know that's a horrible thing to say. Normally, the worst does happen. Okay, so then just open this up. We talked about accountability, check-ins. And I know for a lot of authors that's very important. I've heard a lot of people say that they will do better, or they do better with deadlines, with people checking in. So, end of last month, when we did this live chat, I challenged everyone to go and focus on one area of their writing that they struggle with. Not struggle with, that you want to improve, whether it's dialogue or pacing or description, setting, whatever. Um, So my question is, should I ask people right here in the live chat to give me an update, or I don't want to put anyone on the spot, but that might be the best one. Maybe send in your update via email, and then if someone doesn't send in anything, I'll call them up online or during the live, and ask, like, where's your, not your work, but just an update on what you're busy with. And for those who are watching this after the live, just post in the comments. I read and reply to all the comments personally. Um, Anita, I know you're always busy. Any updates on your last month's progress? Or any questions from anyone? Again, I will pop in on the comments later on. I know not everyone can attend the live, especially on a Sunday. It's the only day that works for me, really, with the time zones and everyone being at work during the week. Okay, let me check if I missed anything. Thanks again to everyone who is subscribed to the House of Shadows and Ink. We're making great progress on our, hours watched and just subscribers and everything. Our kids channel is also growing. We've got a new character. We are bringing out a lot of kids books in the next, like, basically November. I think we've got 3+ like very small kids, 3 or 4. So let's say 7 kids books before the end of the year. Anita, I'm working on the final proofing of my new book. Should be ready by November. Excellent. Okay, so by the time Christmas comes around, I'm gonna ask you if that book is done. I need to make notes of this stuff because I really want to, like, put a bit of pressure on people. Um, I I've been struggling a little bit lately with, like, amount of pressure, but I know if it's at a nice balance and it just pushes you a little bit into the discomfort, it can actually be very motivational. A lot of authors need those deadlines, a lot of creators. So I don't care what it is. Then we've also got a live workshop on the 8th of November. Felix Blackwell just joined as like a guest speaker, Nick Roberts, Jessica Stone or Jess Hartstone, and Ben Farthing, who's got a extremely successful best-selling book on Amazon at the moment. I believe it's like in the top 100 overall on Amazon. Definitely come hear what he says about it, and it will be recorded for those who miss it. And I will also send an activity sheet for people before the time, and then a homework to fill in, to send in at a later date. So it's not just the 3-hour workshop and then it's over and done with. You're not going to get rid of me that easily. So, and yes, I'm waiting on one more guest speaker, and then we should be set up for the whole thing. So definitely don't miss that. We're going to dive much deeper into the self story and how to apply all of these things to end off 2025 and have an amazing 2026. A big thing also is authors' New Year's resolutions, like what to do, what not to do, how to make sure you at least move forward without breaking your own spirit, which I know a lot of authors tend to do with New Year's. Well, a lot of people tend to do with New Year's resolutions. So, okay, again, any questions? Otherwise, I'm gonna love and leave you and get back to other work. Let me just check if I covered everything. The channel, there was something else as well. Yes, if you do see yourself creating something video content wise, where you discuss something that you're good at, a skill that you have, whether it's you want to teach or educate, entertain, funny video jokes, shorts. You can check some of the content we have here. We've got videos of movie discussions, books, book reviews, reenactments of books from like the 80s. We've got any kind of video like that, but you don't want to start your own channel. You can send it to us. If the sound and video quality is good, we're going to post it. And once our channel is monetized, we're going to work out a payment structure and